Discover how to find direction and peace even in the most uncertain moments. In this video, you will live a profound experience of prayer and surrender, learning how to truly trust in a greater force to guide your steps, heal wounds, and renew your hope. If you feel that you are facing difficult decisions, experience situations of anxiety, loneliness, or simply want to start over with your heart in peace, this video is for you. With a realistic and welcoming approach, we share principles that can transform your journey within your family, at work, in your finances, and in your spiritual life. Every minute, you will be invited to reflect, forgive, restore bonds, and rediscover the value of communion. No matter what weight you carry, here you will find words of strength, faith, and reconciliation to move forward. Enjoy and write Amen in the comments to unite your faith with our community. Your prayer request will be received with zeal and intercession. Share it with those who need comfort, direction, and hope. You can be an instrument of transformation in someone's life. The sun had not even dyed the horizon gold when a new cycle began. Among the shadows of the early morning, each of us received once again the gift of time, the chance to start over, to raise our eyes to the sky and seek a greater meaning. And in that silent moment, the need arises to silence the haste and listen to what is not seen but felt, the presence of the sovereign who renews hopes. Inspired by ancient words of wisdom, such as those found in the Book of Songs, chapter 143, verse 10, the heart learns to ask not only for solutions, but for true direction. The request is not for easy paths, but for a higher understanding, for that invisible hand that guides even when everything around seems uncertain. How many of us have found ourselves facing forked roads with doubts weighing on our chests? Life is full of those moments when the next step seems shrouded in fog, and choices multiply without guaranteeing the outcome. But in the midst of the confusion, there is a certainty that can be sought. He who seeks guidance from the Most High never walks aimlessly. The proposal, then, is to start this new day in a different way, not guided by worries or outside noises, but by a total surrender to the one who knows the end from the beginning. May this be a time of honest surrender, of opening the heart to wisdom and of desiring not only answers, but a deeper relationship with the author of existence. Thus, with reverence, we approach the one who holds all knowledge. It is not just a ritual, nor a dry obligation, but a gesture of trust. No matter how many voices and counsels try to influence our choices, what matters most is listening to the inner voice that whispers eternal truths. In this atmosphere of humility and search, the prayer springs up. Supreme Lord, as we awaken to this new cycle, we recognize our limitation in the face of the vastness of your paths. We listen to so much advice throughout the days, absorb opinions, and are drawn to different ideas, but there's something inside us that craves your voice above all others. We want to learn to distinguish what is fleeting from what is eternal, what is noise from what is true. Lead us then along the paths you have prepared. Give us the courage to silence our impulses and learn to listen to what comes from above. Show us the value of giving up control, of surrendering our plans and trusting that your route is better than any shortcut that our anxiety tries to create. As the ancient poet pleaded, we also desire, instruct us, O source of all wisdom. Teach us to walk according to your will, even if we do not understand all the reasons. It teaches us to trust, even when the road is dark and the outcome is not clear. Teach us to follow, even when our will wants to resist. How many times have we tried to tread in our own strength, relying on intelligence, experience, or favorable circumstances? But today, before you, we give up self-reliance and ask that your spirit of guidance take the lead. We know that the right path is not necessarily the most comfortable, but it is the only one where there is true peace and stability, even when headwinds blow. Spirit of truth, draw near to us and become our closest counselor. It speaks to our inner self when we are about to choose what is not convenient. It broadens our perception to see beyond appearances. Give us discernment to separate what comes from you from what is illusion or deception. May every inner turmoil, every paralyzing doubt, and every insecurity give way to trust and clarity from above. Envelop us with your wisdom like a protective cloak. Help us make choices aligned with your wants. Teach us to identify the time to move forward and the time to wait, so that we do not rush or stand still in fear or unbelief. There are decisions that seem sensible to human eyes, but whose end leads to ruin. Keep us from these dangerous shortcuts. May your presence be our alarm, alerting us before each deviation. Make us sensitive to your voice, like a flock that recognizes the call of the shepherd and does not disperse before the stranger. Mold in us a malleable spirit open to learning, ready to surrender to your guidance. As it is written in the Proverbs, trust in the Lord of your whole being and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your way straight. We recognize you as the guide of all aspects of our existence, in daily decisions, in relationships, in professional challenges, and in our deepest dreams. It shows us what needs to be abandoned, what deserves to be prioritized, and what should be saved for another time. Strengthen our character to deny our wills when they are misaligned with your will. It gives us the maturity to refuse illusory shortcuts and accept the discipline that leads to true growth. May we be able to say, like the Master in the Garden of Suffering, let your will be done, not ours. We desire to live in total obedience, even if it means renunciation, detachment from the comfort or approval of others, and even facing our own limitations. We also ask that where there is confusion, you bring clarity. Where doors are open without your permission, let them be closed. And where there are paths where you must lead us, confirm them with signs, with inner peace, and with your word. May our search not be for simple answers, but for the privilege of walking side by side with you, listening and recognizing your voice in every detail of the journey. When we look at life, we realize that we often make hasty decisions, motivated by fear, anxiety, or the desire not to miss opportunities. And in those moments, we forget that there is a loving hand that wants to guide every detail, every choice, every new beginning. We are tempted to trust what we feel or what we see around us, but we learn, often with tears, that what really sustains walking is trust in those who are above all else. When we recognize our tendency to seek hasty solutions, we realize the urgency of a posture of humility, ready to surrender control and learn to wait for the right time of things. Therefore, we beg, O God of all justice, we know that in many moments we follow shortcuts built by our own hands. How many times do we fail to consult you before acting? How many choices made in haste have brought weight to our hearts and distanced us from your best? We now recognize our limitations and imperfections, and before your presence we open our being to genuine repentance. Forgive us, Eternal, for the moments when pride spoke louder and we refused to surrender areas of life that should be in your hands. If there are still places in our heart where your will meets resistance, touch them with your grace and transform them. Take away from us all thought of self-sufficiency, all idea that we can control what only you have the power to direct. Free us from old habits, from mental patterns that insist on challenging your authority. Cleanse every corner of the heart, from what is hidden, from old wounds, from fears that still resist your light. May your mercy envelop us, bringing peace over the consequences of past mistakes. May forgiveness not be just an idea, but a real balm that lifts us up to a new trajectory. And when guilt tries to keep us imprisoned, may we hear your voice whispering, if you confess, I forgive. If you ask, I'll restore it. Let every accusation that weighs on the conscience be dispelled by the assurance of grace. We no longer walk as orphans, but as restored children, reconciled with the Creator, guided by love and not by fear. It gives birth in us to a true desire for change, not only of words, but of attitudes that produce transformation. Teach us to be faithful in our daily lives, to choose the good even when no one is watching, to honor the principles from above in every small decision. Give us the strength to break with the past and build a new history starting today, free from all that has already been confessed and washed away by renewed hope. May every silent accusation of the adversary be silenced. Let no one who feels paralyzed by remorse remain so, for your goodness is greater than any fault. A new wind blows over every life that repents, bringing relief, peace, and a firm conviction that there is no condemnation for those who decide to start over under your direction. We declare that we are called not to live according to the past, but to move forward, day by day, guided by your firm hand. May every cycle of self-sabotage be broken. May every weary soul now feel the touch of your love, healing old wounds and restoring the original identity of beloved children. And when painful memories arise, help us to commit each one of them to your care, knowing that nothing is irreparable for those who trust in your promise of restoration. May your Spirit show us what needs to be left, what needs to be changed, and what must remain. May every choice today be guided not by fear or resentment, but by the freedom that only the truth brings. In this climate of renewal, we also pray for homes, families, relationships, and friendships. There is no space in our life that is beyond your reach. He visits every house represented, bringing harmony where there is discord, reconciliation where there is hurt, and love where there is coldness. May every family environment be invaded by your peace, becoming fertile soil for forgiveness, mutual understanding, and true communion. May your presence be perceived in the simplest encounters and in the most challenging dialogues. May each person be touched by the desire to seek the common good, to forgive and to welcome, even when differences seem insurmountable. Teach us to be instruments of reconciliation, beginning with those who are closest to us. May your hand rest on couples, parents and children, brothers and sisters, that where there is distance there is rapprochement, where there is hardness, let there be softness, and where there is silence, may the restorative dialogue be reborn. We turn our gaze to the choices that arise with each new day. For some, these are grandiose decisions, such as moving to another city, accepting a new job, or starting a relationship. For others, they are small decisions, almost imperceptible, but that added together build destinies. No matter how big the challenge, we know that every step carries eternal implications when done under your guidance. We ask then, for the wisdom that comes from above. Let no one here be driven by anxiety, fear of tomorrow, or a desire to please the crowd. May each decision be based on the serenity that only your spirit provides. When doors open, let us know how to discern whether they are opportunities or traps. And when doors close, may we not succumb to despair, but learn to trust in your timing, which is always perfect. It gives us the sensitivity to understand when it's time to act and when it's time to wait. Teach us not to run ahead of your plans nor to hesitate because of doubts or insecurities. May the rhythm of our journey be marked by the rhythm of your heart, never by the pressure of the environment or by comparison with others. Light our paths with your word, making it the compass for every step. And when we make mistakes, because we are human and flawed, may the repentance be quick, the immediate return and the willingness to start over always renewed. It lifts up those who have fallen, sustains those who are tired, and strengthens those who think of giving up. Faced with the multiple demands of life, we learn that we are not capable of dealing with all the burdens alone. There are pains that are too deep to share, battles that seem too big to fight. Therefore, we give into your hands every worry, every anxiety, every hidden struggle. May those who feel oppressed find rest. May afflicted hearts now feel the relief that only your presence brings. May the flame of hope be rekindled in the heart of everyone who has ever thought about giving up. May every burden be exchanged for the light and easy yoke of those who walk in your company. We also intercede for those facing infirmities, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. May your healing hand reach every life in need. May those who live with chronic pain find solace and renewal. May those who struggle with diseases of the soul, sadness, anxiety, loneliness, hopelessness, be enveloped by an invisible embrace, feeling that even on the most difficult days they are not alone. For those who face addictions, compulsions, or destructive habits, we ask for complete liberation. It breaks invisible chains, unties old knots, and gives each one the strength for a new beginning. May your presence be greater than any compulsion. May the desire to start over overcome the strength of the past. And for those who face grief or experience recent losses, may the consolation be palpable. May tears not be seen as weakness, but as part of the healing process. May in the midst of longing and pain, an unshakable hope arise, certain that no suffering is eternal when placed in your hands. We also ask for friendships, walking companions, co-workers, neighbors, and everyone who crosses our paths. May we be sources of light and encouragement to others. May our words lift, our attitudes inspire, and our example point to values higher than passing circumstances. May communion be restored where there have been misunderstandings, and may differences be celebrated as wealth, not as a cause for division. May we learn to listen, to counsel with meekness, and to extend a hand without expecting anything in return. And if perhaps we are surrounded by hostile, unjust, or challenging environments, strengthen us to be a presence of peace, balance, and firmness. May we not be contaminated by the negative climate around us, but be agents of transformation, bringing hope where there is discouragement and generosity where there is scarcity. As we move forward, we are reminded that financial life, work, and dreams are also part of the journey under your watch. There is no subject, project, or concern that cannot be presented before you. We ask therefore for wisdom in every choice relating to resources, career, and stewardship of the goods entrusted to our hands. May we learn to deal with what we have responsibly and in line with the principles that raise dignity. It removes from us the impulse to consume without thinking, the paralyzing fear of missing out, or the anxiety that leads to hasty decisions. It gives us insight to know when to save, when to invest, when to take risks, and when to retreat. Bless those who dedicate themselves to daily work, who get up early and give the best of themselves. May they find recognition, appreciation, and fair opportunities. If there are people among us who are experiencing financial difficulties, in debt, or distressed, may they receive not only resources but also wisdom to rebuild hope and dignity. For those who face toxic or unfair environments in their professions, we ask for intervention and deliverance. If it is your will, open better doors. If it is to remain, it grants resilience, balance, and peace. Let no one feel invisible or helpless. And for those who undertake, have their own projects, or dream of growing, may each stage be preceded by reflection, prudence, and greater purpose. May the fruits of effort not only serve profit, but also the transformation of lives and the promotion of collective well-being. It drives away dangerous alliances, frauds, traps, or harmful relationships. Guide each negotiation, each contract, each partnership, so that everything is conducted with ethics, fairness, and transparency. He also teaches us generosity. May prosperity never harden the heart. May we know how to share, help those in need, and invest in causes that promote justice and hope. May accumulation not be the end, but the means to impact lives in a positive and lasting way. For everyone who feels overwhelmed by goals, demands, or deadlines, pour out peace. It teaches you to distinguish the essential from the accessory, to stop when necessary, to rest without guilt, and to act clearly when it is time to move forward. It broadens the boundaries of those who have a vocation to undertake and create, but who never deviate from the original purpose, to be instruments of transformation and not just accumulators of wealth. May every business, large or small, become a source of justice, dignity, and inspiration to others. It gives wisdom to manage what has already been received before seeking more. May we be recognized not for what we have, but for the way we use each resource in favor of the collective. And at the end of it all, may each achievement, each dream come true, and each new stage be recognized as gifts, not as personal merits. As the journey ends at this moment of surrender, we realize that each area of life can be redirected when submitted to the right guidance. There is no tiredness. There is no loneliness. There is no uncertainty that remains when we learn to trust and rest in hands stronger than our own. May all plans, dreams, challenges, and worries now be under watchful and wise care. In the midst of so many paths and possibilities, faith is declared in the greater purpose that governs every detail. True peace is not in the absence of problems, but in the presence of an unshakable trust, built day by day, regardless of the circumstances. May the spirit of hope rekindle in hearts, reminding each one that, even when everything seems to fall apart, there is a promising future reserved for those who do not give up seeking guidance. May each person who participates in this moment feel enveloped by this atmosphere of trust, lightness, surrender. May anxiety be replaced by serenity and doubt, by a calm conviction that nothing escapes the control of those who govern time and destiny. May no one feel excluded because every voice, every supplication, every silent desire has been heard and accepted, even if the answers come in silence or at the right time. It is certain that the journey will continue with new challenges, decisions to be made, losses to be faced, joys to be celebrated, but the promise remains. No step will be taken alone. Every choice, every change, every small gesture will be accompanied by constant guidance, even when invisible. And that's the secret of a fulfilling life, walking side by side with those who never fail. In each new day, may the inner voice be stronger than the noises of the world. May hope be greater than fear. May the willingness to start over overcome fatigue. And may gratitude be the daily language, recognizing that all good, all direction, every open door, all peace conquered, are gifts and not individual achievements. At the end of this delivery, the commitment to live with integrity, seek justice, act generously, celebrate small victories, and learn from falls is renewed. Let no one forget that the secret to moving forward is to trust and surrender, one step at a time, always willing to start over. And for everyone who has come this far, May they feel encouraged to share experiences, support those in need, create networks of solidarity and faith, because the journey is lighter when done in community, where some strengthen the other and no one is left behind. Finally, may this message reach those who need it most, inspire those who are tired, and strengthen those who search for meaning. May each life be transformed by the experience of trusting, surrendering, and starting over, with eyes fixed not on the circumstances, but on the greater purpose. May each heart be strengthened for the challenges of the new day, and may peace, which surpasses any understanding, accompany each step. May it be so, and may new journeys begin with renewed hope. Subscribe to the channel, activate the bell to receive new content of inspiration, prayer, and faith. Share this video with friends and family. Together, we can spread hope and renew dreams.